Since starting the Fresh Out series, we've been getting tons of emails about prison life. So we decided to start this series to answer all those questions you have. Prison life can be a scary thing if you know what you're walking into. You can end up in a deadly situation or get fucked up. I'm Big Herc, and I served nearly a decade in federal prison. And I've seen and lived through some shitty times. And this is Prison Talk. What do you do if someone wants to shank you in prison? Did you make any kind of shank, shiv of any kind of weapon when you were locked up? How difficult was it to get your hands on one? What were some of the more creative ones you have seen? It seems like you've been watching a lot of Lock Up and, New Orange is Black, whatever that shit is, man. There is a lot of shanks in prison, and I have seen somebody get shanked. It ain't cool. To have to carry around a shank all the time is not cool. You don't even want to get mixed up in that. Personally, I didn't have to walk around with a shank all the time because I wasn't involved in shit that required me to have that, but I did have necessary means to protect myself. I'm not going to get into details, but I wasn't going to let a motherfucker run up on me and just put one up in me. But, if somebody wants to shank you in prison and you know he wants to shank you, catch his ass, slip him, and bust him beside the fucking head. Because if you don't do it, he gonna get you, and that's just how it is. Sometimes shit like that is unavoidable. I'm not promoting violence, I'm not saying it's cool, but you have some motherfuckers who are so sick in the fucking head that once they put it in their mind, they wanna do some harm to you, you gotta handle it. You gotta take care of it, because if not, they're gonna do something to you, and it's better to be the aggressor than to be aggressed on. You don't want to be sitting in an infirmary with a motherfucker punch a wound in your lung, bleeding to death while they're trying to somehow get you outside of the prison to a fucking hospital, and you could die on the way. That ain't cool. So, try to avoid situations like that. If you got somebody that's really got it in for you, man, if you can't talk to the motherfucker, then, do something to basically settle the situation however you feel more comfortable. I'm not saying shank them, but you know what you got to do if you're in that situation. As far as finding shanks in prison, there's people who sell shanks all day. They got guys making shanks out of motherfucking plastic forks. They got people melting down plastic plates and making shanks out of those. They got guys making shanks out of chicken bones. They got guys making shanks out of motherfucking ink pens. There's all type of shanks in prison. I mean, I can go on for days as far as what you can create when your mind has that kind of time to sit around. But I would rather you sit around and think about other shit rather than getting shanked, because if you focus on that energy, you're gonna find it. So focus on something else. Don't worry about going to prison, making shanks and shanking motherfuckers, because that outcome is not good. You're gonna catch another case, be sitting in a motherfucking hole, looking like a dumbass, and be bleeding, motherfucker. Let it go.